I think the story was really put there just to go from one fight sequence to the next.
Spoiler alert, like you didn't see that coming.
And he's like, hey, you shouldn't have done that. Now you're going to die.
What's up? She wouldn't have to do undercover hooking.
Put your cash on the bedstands. Martial Law, the 1990 film named Martial Law because there's a few out there apparently.
Well, and some of the sources say 1991.
Yeah.
A lot of times with these direct-to-video movies, it's like, it's 90, 91, depending on when it came to your area. We don't know. It's somewhere around there.
It's funny that it's a direct-to-video movie, though, because it has a pretty decent cast. I mean, Chad McQueen, who is Steve McQueen's son.
Yeah.
Cynthia Rothrock, who's like an action star. And, of course, David Carradine, who was pretty well known by this point. I mean, this is post Kung Fu era for him. So you kind of would think they would have tried to put this out as maybe a small movie release.
I don't know. You did see the acting, right?
Yeah, I guess you're right. This is
production values. I think you're right, though. This could have been either like a really kind of bad theatrical release or a pretty good video release. And so they went with the video release, which is probably a good call.
Yeah, not good enough for theater, but if you put it on video, it's pretty damn good.
It's all right. Yeah. So, like you said, it stars Chad McQueen and Cynthia Rothrock, and they're lovers and partners because they're cops, right? And they're trying to fight David Carradine, who's the bad guy, right? Who plays Dalton Rhodes.
Yeah.
But Chad McQueen, they call him Martial Law. I think that's where this movie takes his name. That's not the character's name. The character's name is Sean Thompson, but they call him Martial Law. I thought that was his name. Maybe because he knows karate and he's also a cop.
Yeah, I guess.
So they call him Martial Law, but his name is Sean Thompson. But does Chad McQueen look familiar to you?
Well, he's Steve McQueen's son.
Yeah, but he played Dutch, one of the
in Karate Kid.
Kid. He played like one of the bullies in the gang, and he was one of the kids that Daniel fought, and he had the neon blonde hair. It's super blonde, so he looked extra douchey.
Yeah, he made an appearance in the Cobra Kai series as well, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure Dutch shows up in one of the seasons. I don't remember which one though.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool, and he actually is a martial artist. He studied under Chuck Norris.
Yeah, pretty badass.
And then Cynthia Rothrock, this is like her first American production, which was on Riff Tracks, by the way. I didn't know that when we picked this, but this has been riffed by Riff Tracks.
Okay.
But she was doing Hong Kong movies because she's like a super champion, like at multiple martial arts. She's super badass, right? I think she's probably the most overlooked martial arts stars in movies.
I agree. She doesn't get enough credit for the stuff that she does because she's always stuck in these kind of cheesy B martial art films, you know?
Yeah, but she's pretty badass. She started out in Hong Kong. Michelle Yeoh is like super famous now, but she was a Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And they starred together in her first Build movie, which is called Yes, Ma'am.
Oh. And Michelle Yeoh was in that?
Movies are badass.
Yeah.
What's that?
Michelle Yeoh was in Yes Man?
Yeah, and she and Cynthia Rothrock were together fighting and kicking ass together. Yeah, there's all kinds of trivia, dude.
That's cool. So Michelle went on to fame and stardom, and poor Cynthia's still stuck doing B.
Yeah, but she's got more like YouTube things going on where she was the first to be on these like Kung Fu martial arts magazines and stuff. So she's really big in the martial arts world.
That's cool.
So maybe she's not super like big in the movies, but in the martial arts world, she's totally known because if you're in that world, you know Cynthia Rothrock, which is good because she kicks ass. And she's got a YouTube channel too, where she's like, half of it's like, hey, let me show you how to kick ass. But the other half is I'm traveling. Here's a nice beach and I'm just kind of sipping on like my margaritas.
Oh,
It's pretty cool. You should follow her on YouTube. People.
I will. Yeah, I didn't even know that. Yeah, she's cool. And it's cool to watch this movie too, in the sense that since everybody is actual martial arts artists, like, you know, that they really know what they're doing. And obviously they're doing stage fighting, right? Because some of the moves look kind of cheap and not well done, but you know, within the budget and stuff. But like the thing about it is it's kind of cool watching them knowing that they actually know what they're doing versus a lot of like fighting sequences in movies where, you know, they don't know anything other than what the stunt coordinator told them to do. And the camera's just doing a quick cut to make it look like they're doing badass martial arts moves, you know?
Well, the stunt coordinator was Philip Tan, who also played in the movie. He was the bad guy's henchman, the one with the, hey, governor, jolly old pip, chimney charu, governor.
So I wanted to look that up. I know he was born in the UK, I think. So is that his actual accent?
I think he was born in Singapore.
So what is with that Cockney accent? That was really annoying in this film.
I think that's his real accent.
Is that his real accent?
I think so. He's like Singaporean British, and that's really,
and he's not making Cockney that up. In Singapore, Britain? That's not.
I don't know, but that's his thing. I think that's his real thing.
I live in the UK, and I think I've maybe met one person ever who actually uses the Cockney accent.
Clean your chimney, governor.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's his real accent, but
that can't be.
Philip Tan is also a badass. If you look at his page, he's a stunt coordinator or the stunt man or involved in stunts for dozens and dozens and dozens of films. So this guy's also badass. So this movie has a lot of badassery, actually.
Oh, totally. Yeah, which is kind of funny because everybody in this movie does karate. But
yeah,
like I think the only people that didn't do karate were like the three guys at the very beginning in the store robbery that got caught by Marshall.
So the movie starts out as. So they're robbing this diamond store, which is in this really shitty strip mall, right? This is obviously not the top of the line diamond store here. They even say it like, this guy's got crap, man. And it's like, well, what did you expect? This is a really shitty like strip mall diamond store. This isn't. You could tell on the outside it's just this giant parking lot with all these strip mall places. But then Chad McQueen, Dutch from Karate Kid, goes and he's disguised as the pizza guy because they want Domino's pizza, right?
Yeah.
So you don't know what's coming to happen here. Yeah. And it probably took them that long to drive, even though it's in the same strip mall, because this is giant strip mall.
Yeah, it's like a couple doors down is the Domino's that they
we still had to drive because it's this giant parking lot. But yeah, then he kicks their ass. Spoiler alert, like you didn't see that coming. And
thankfully to the first guy's gun jamming, because the guy pulled the trigger from plenty of distance, so like Steve McQueen could not have gotten to him, but conveniently the guy's gun jammed, giving
so Dutch from Karate Kid's like special power is luck.
Yeah,
because he totally should have got shot there and the movie should have ended, but hey, plot convenience with the jam. But that sets the tone that Chad McQueen's a badass, right? And then it starts with the driving down the city with the cheesy 80s 90s saxophone music, because you got to have that cop saxophone music driving down the street if you want to set the tone, right?
Absolutely, especially from the 80s. It's night, saxophone music, lone cop driving down the street.
Yeah, but he's got a brother. And his little brother is involved in car stealing, but he doesn't know who also knows karate. But his little brother works for David Carradine's character, and he's involved in some shady business.
Dalton Rhodes.
Yeah. Who can kill people with just one punch.
One punch man.
Killed that big dude, Professor Tanaka, who played in this movie. He killed him with just one punch, even though he's like a brick shit house.
Yeah.
Just to prove a point.
Yeah. He took an old, what was it? Like an old, he said it at one point, ancient Chinese healing technique turned deadly.
Yeah. It started out to heal people, but he bastardized it, man. David Carradine's bad guy bastardized it. And now he just can kill people with one punch.
One punch.
But he's in a relationship with his partner, Billy Blake, played by Cynthia Rothrock. So they're kind of in this relationship, but they're also partners, so that they can get a little kind of like huggy feely time. But then when it's time to kick ass, they can kick ass too. That's kind of cool. I wish I had a partner like that.
If I didn't know who she was and that she had a major role in the film, I almost would have been thinking, who's going to die first, the brother or her? Because you know somebody's going to die to be a catalyst, and it's like, who's gonna be the one that dies? We got to wait and find out.
Yeah, but you can't kill off Cynthia Rothrock because she kicks too much ass. So
or maybe you can watch the movie and find out, audience.
Or maybe you can
find out.
Or maybe it could be the little brother, or maybe it could be both, or maybe it can be neither.
Yeah. Who's gonna? But I did have that feeling totally. I'm like, God, one of these two is gonna die. Yeah, which one?
Yeah, which one? Or maybe both of them.
Or maybe both. And that's what neither. Really is the catalyst for Chad McQueen to go after David Carradine.
Yeah. So he and David Carradine's character is pretty bad, man. He's always like duping his customers. Well, his customers are always trying to screw him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of his customer's own fault. They're trying to screw him. And he's like, hey, you shouldn't have done that. Now you're going to die.
Yeah, but he's trying to steal these really nice stolen cars. He's trying to sell them to this guy, but he's like, if I can do a death match with Professor Tanaka over there, the giant man who looks like he can crush me with his fingers, but if I win and kill him, then you double the price. And that's what he does, is one punch thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a catalyst. So Chad McQueen's got to go undercover and act like he wants to like work for the Dalton Rhodes gang and get in on the inside, so he can try to take this whole thing down. And I'm not saying it. There's a boss fight at the end.
Yeah, there is a boss fight at the end.
Considering that's an 80s and 90s direct-to-video action flick, you could probably expect that there's a boss fight at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a cool fight, though, like, because you had the two of them fighting. You had the Philip Tan's character fighting.
Yeah.
And so you had this big... And the movie, in a lot of ways, I think the story was really put there just to go from one fight sequence to the next, because there were a lot of nice little fight scenes throughout the entire film leading up to the one fight scene. Oh, and we didn't mention Faster Brown, this Vincent Craig Dupree, who for some reason he's this crazy dude who wants to be on David Carradine's gang.
He wants to be in his gang. He used to be in his gang, but he got kicked out. But he's got the corner rolls and he's just over the top, like, what's up?
I'm crazy.
He's like crazy. Super over the top. He's one of the best characters. Yeah. Vincent Craig Dupree.
And for some bizarre reason, wants to be in David Carradine's gang, even though Carradine multiple times has said, get out of here. I don't ever want to see you again. You're not in the gang. You got kicked out of the gang. Stay the fuck out of the gang. Go away. I'm going to kill you if you come back. Keep away. And he's like, I'm coming back. I'm going to be in the gang. Come on. Yeah. I got this information. I'm going to
got a rivalry with the brother, right? The little Michael's brother. He's got a rivalry with him. It's like, dude, you probably should just not, or maybe there's other gangs you can join.
Yeah, join a different gang, man.
Or you seem like a pretty smart guy and you've got like chicks hanging around who'll do stuff for you. Why not start your own gang?
Yeah. Yeah.
I would join Faster Brown's gang. Totally. It seems like that's a far more fun gang to be a part of than Dalton Rhodes' gang.
Yeah, dude. Dalton Rhodes' gang, you're most likely going to get killed at some point by one punch.
Faster Brown, he's always hanging out with the hotties, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm going to hang out. I'm going to be part of his gang.
Totally. Yeah, he's totally should have started his own gang.
Yeah, but we were talking about the stunt coordination and stuff and Philip Tan. So you're right. It is a lot of good stunts, and people should know how to do martial arts because according to some sources, Cynthia Rothrock totally nailed a guy in the nuts. Like for real, because he didn't move when he should have or something. And he didn't know martial arts. He just wanted to be a part of it or something. And then he took like some nunchucks to the nuts from Cynthia Rothrock. So no, if you don't know what you're doing, Don't play the game.
Let your stunt double do it. That's what they're there for.
Yeah, do that. Totally. But yeah, that happened. I guess that was one of the things on the set was some guy took it pretty hard in the nuts.
From Cynthia. Yeah. That's what you get, bro. That's what you get. Yeah. I liked the fact that the police chief wasn't like always getting mad at Chad McQueen's character, and Chad McQueen's character wasn't like your typical disobedient cop, you know? And at some point you didn't have that sequence of turning your gun and badge moment. That was kind of nice that the chief was like, okay, you go get him. And he's like, okay, I'll go get him, chief.
Yeah, and he's a very supportive chief.
Yeah.
And they seem like they have a pretty good relationship, right?
Yeah, totally.
The chief, when the beginning, he's even out there like, haha, these diamond thieves they're amateurs. I got my boy. He's going to go take care of it. That's my boy right there, right?
Yeah,
that's very rare.
SWAT? No, we don't need to call in SWAT. We got martial law.
Yeah. And they have a good relationship, you're right, which is very uncommon for these type of movies.
Yeah,
usually
absolutely.
It's like Drake, what's his name, that guy we hate,
Drake Drake, right?
Robot Wars guy, I'm such a rebel and I'm so against authority. These guys actually have a pretty good relationship.
Yep.
In fact, Steve McQueen should get busted because like he keeps covering for his brother.
Oh, totally, man. Yeah. Keeps getting his brother out of trouble when really he should have let his brother get arrested and do a little time in jail. Because if he had done that, maybe his brother would,
have changed his ways.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Would have learned a lesson, but he didn't. He kept getting his brother out of jail, and his brother kept getting into trouble throughout the whole film.
So maybe the chief should have gone down hard on him, but I don't think the chief knew.
I don't think he did either. I think McQueen was doing it on the side.
Yeah. But what do you think about like office romances? Like if you're a cop and you have a partner and you're also like romantically involved, do you think that works?
I think it does. I mean, let's be honest. A lot of romances start in the office because that's who you're around a lot. And in this case, it's kind of cool because she's a badass. So he doesn't really need to worry about her and stuff because she can protect herself and that they're both kind of equals in the ass kicking category. And so I think it works all right. I believe it.
Well, I thought it was funny that she's always working these extra shifts. I got to pay rent. But I'm thinking, aren't cops like aren't they salaried? She acts like she's going to go on do a night shift at Walmart or something. And I'm like, wait a minute, Cynthia, like aren't cops like kind of salaried? What is this extra shift thing?
I don't know, because they're unionized, so maybe they get overtime if they do certain. Because you hear other cop shows talking about putting in some overtime.
Oh, so okay.
Maybe it depends on which department you're a member of,
or your level.
Yeah,
maybe some like detectives are salaried, but if you're like beat cop, maybe you're hourly. I don't know how it works.
Well, maybe the two of them should just move in together, and then they're like they don't have separate rents, right? And then she wouldn't have to take all those extra shifts.
Yeah, that's a big step though, man.
Well, how long have they been together? They didn't really say.
I don't know. They didn't say. Maybe they just got together. We don't know. True. But they seem pretty close. But they're also partners and they kick ass together.
Yeah. Well, she went with him to his mom's birthday party.
Yeah.
So she knows his mom.
Yeah. Yeah. I think maybe it's time they move in together.
I think they should move in together and then she wouldn't have to work so much.
She wouldn't have to do undercover hooking all the time, like double shifts undercover hooking.
Maybe she likes it. Maybe that's kind of her little kink is the undercover hooking.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe he doesn't mind either because she gets home kind of riled up, ready to go.
Exactly. She's like, oh, yeah, baby, let's get this. And he's like, all right, undercover hooking tonight. And she's like, yes, indeed.
Or she comes in still role playing like, hey, baby, I haven't had much work tonight. I'm a real bargain. Yeah. How much? Yeah. $20. Make you hollers.
Yeah, that's right. Put your cash on the bedstand.
And then they start doing karate.
Yeah. Just like, okay, that's going to cost extra.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought this movie was pretty cool. It reminded me just of like you're at the Blockbuster in 1991 and you're looking for something like, back then at Blockbuster, sometimes you didn't get the Blockbuster because they were all rented out. Remember that?
Yeah.
So maybe you just saw this, martial law, and then this is the only thing you had at the video store, but you take it home. You're like, oh, that was kind of entertaining anyway. So I'm glad we have direct to video stuff going on in the early 90s. That's good.
Yeah. Well, especially, or like you find one like new release that you got, but since you're there, you figure you might as well get something else as well. And you're like, this one, it's cheaper because it's not a new release. It's direct to video. Yeah, I'll take this one and see. Looks like it's, though it's funny that it was made in 1990 because it really feels like it was made like in the mid 80s.
Oh yeah. Totally. Well, the 90s, we've talked about this before. Yeah. The 90s didn't quite kick in until maybe a few years later. It was still very much the 80s and the early 90s.
Yeah, absolutely.
That saxophone music and stuff, especially when he's doing his, you got to get that training thing by the ocean.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He's doing his training with the sunset going down the ocean, and it's got that cheesy ass saxophone music back there. I'm like, yes, that's what I want, baby.
Yeah. He's got to prep because he knows he's going to have a big fight, and like a little training montage the day of is totally going to make him a better fighter.
Yeah. Training montage.
Gotta have a montage.
Go get him, Steve McQueen. Go get him, Dutch.
Absolutely. So you thinking thumbs up then, or thumbs down?
Yeah, I'd give it a thumbs up. I'm a Cynthia Rothrock fan, so I think we should watch the sequel. There is a sequel to this.
There is a sequel that came out like what, a year later or something like that.
Yeah, we should watch it.
Yeah.
How about you?
I agree. I'm a thumbs up on this one as well. This is perfect, mindless, straight to video action cop film, and totally enjoyed it.
All right, 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up, and these weren't like wavering thumbs up, like the past few, or it's like,
this one's a solid one.
Solid thumbs up, absolutely. Highly, I wouldn't say highly recommend, but recommend.
Well, it's free to watch on streaming services.
Yeah, you don't have to pay anything for it.
If you have nothing to do and you're broke, you got this.
Yep. Yeah.
And you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, it's easy to find online for free. So absolutely. Free streaming. You don't even have to illegally download it to watch it.
Go to Freebie, you can watch this.
Yep. Yeah, I got mine on the Roku channel.
Yeah.
So
that's the great thing about these direct-to-video 80s, 90s movies. They're filler for these free streaming services.
Yeah, it gives them something to put on their channels.
Look, we got martial law.